So let's see the quick demo of building an AI skill executor in .NET, bringing Anthropic Agent Pattern to the Microsoft ecosystem. So here that complete app, which is just built, and we have that configuration also section, which we can see we currently actually using our local Olama, but if you want, so you can just use whatever provider. And there is another section which can determine, okay, whatever the skill is available of .NET AI skill. So currently we have that GitHub assistance project and code explainer. And also if you scroll down, so there's a couple of MCP server tools. So whatever that MCP server tools currently we are using, so these are actually also is listed over here. So and in here the final actually that is skill executor, where you can just set whatever skill actually you want to use. So like for example, if you want to use the project analyzer, so you can just simply going to there, and you can just simply ask, okay, what is the directory over here. So yeah, you can just simply asking some whatever that question about this is, this skills, so they will get that response and they will properly get the output. Same things again, you can just try with another one over here. So now if you want to go to that GitHub assistant, so if you just properly GitHub token, and also definitely will get that GitHub assistance as well. So yeah, that we will try to implement in here. So let's moving to implement. So before we start implementation, I'm especially recommend, if you first time visit my channel, so go to my channel, which is .NET real world example. So in here, if you want to learn, you can learn it like integrate AI in any applications and front end, back end as a full stack developer, or if you want to game development or mobile development. So many things actually you can learn it over here. So yeah, let's moving to implementation. So moving to here, close everything and just open to our project. So see, this is actually that main project which I already built. So this time I'm not going to build from that scratch, but yeah, this is the structure. Let me explain everything first. So first actually we have to need to create a class library of a skill course which can be used in our skill quick start. And this is our another console application which can run in our local to to actually create our MCP server. So all the tools actually MCP, we will just create a console application, and then finally we have to run our application as a console application which can use this one to over here, and whatever that is MCP server tools actually we also utilize in here. So if you go expand this first actually skill course, there is a couple of section. So first actually it's a configure section. So whatever the skill configuration, I just configured over here as like this, right? And then next actually the model. So whatever that is skill model actually I just required, so I just created over here. So I'm just not going to deep over here, but yeah, in upcoming session we will going to deep and we will create from that scratch. And also we have to create the services. So this is that services we are actually, I just load all that skills. And now moving to next console application, which is skill MCP server, where I just simply create tools which can run project analysis tools over here. And there is a couple of tools actually, just analyze directory or count lines. So these are actually tools actually we just created over here inside this MCP tools, and this is pretty much good for this. And now finally this is that main application where we will to use this skill course and that MCP server to execute our executor, .NET skill executor. And in here the main important part actually this is skills. So based on that your skills, you have to define actually what kind of skills do you want to execute, and what that proper instructions. So if you go to one by one, like for example, first I will go to the code explainer. So this is that skill.md file, and here I just properly explain actually what actually kind of things actually this skill have to work. So here actually we have to define similar for GitHub assistance. Also we have to define for GitHub like how actually they should work over here. And simply also we have to define for that project analyzer. So if you want to project analyzer much better, so you can just define accordingly to that. But this is just a demo perspective. So yeah, that I just defined over here. And yeah, Also we have that configuration, like this is two configuration. One is that Azure OpenAI, which is nothing but, yeah, we just defined Azure OpenAI things, but as a configuration, so that we can use for local LLM also, like using Olama. So up to you. If you have a subscription, so uh, you can utilize that, your subscription of Azure, but that local Olama actually also will support it, so that I'll explain it also. And also here that setup of that MCP server, so whatever that MCP server configuration we just set up over here, so that we can use wherever we required. And now we have just created a couple of services. So here that, that Azure services, OpenAI services, and this is MCP client services, right? And if you go to Azure Open Services, so here I just define. So here actually I just run my local LLM in my Docker or in a local system. So I can just simply change it to this. So using the, OpenAI client options, and using OpenAI client, you can just utilize your local Olama. And if you want to use your, Azure one, so you can simply use this like Azure OpenAI client. So up to you, whatever do you have. So yeah, I think this is pretty much good, right, for these connections, for the connectivity and Olama and local. And this is that final executor. So here actually final executor call to our process and get that, tools. And once you get the tools, they are just properly, and according to their get that response of the LLM, and then based on this actually they properly the response. Okay, so these are all the services which we have to use in our main.program.cs file. And in here, see, first actually we just define, okay, what kind of application. So we just define, okay, it is a skill executor, and this is orchestrates anthropic skill patterns. And then second step, we just show it over here, what are the configuration actually in the dependency injection we have to resolve. So these are the dependency injection where we just resolve the dependency over our MCP server or in our core service, core libraries. So everything we just defined over here. And then there is a fine other step, actually we just get that all that skills, whatever that skills do you have. So we just get that skills over here and show it over as a table format. And next step, actually we just show it over here, like, okay, whatever that MCP server tools is available, so we just load it over here and just populate it. That's it. And now finally, actually this is the main loop where actually that all that skill will be executed. So here just asking that prompt, based on that prompt actually we will just first we will show, and then we will just select it, and based on the selected, after that actually we have to execute it, that particular things. And once you execute it, so see, this is that service actually we just call for this executor executive service. So here we just pass everything, just load skills, right? So whatever the load skills, everything we just pass, and based on that user input we'll get that response, and this response actually we have to show over here in this final response. So that's how actually this executor works. So if you want to build, so you can just build it using this. So I'll just share these things in our GitHub link, so you can just refer over there. So let me run this quickly. So before run, actually you have to install in Olama. So I just use Olama my Docker, but you can just use your local system as well. And in this Docker container, if you show that what are that model is available, so I can see Olama list. And basically for that MCP tools calling, and also definitely you require this Llama as a Llama 3.2 at least. Okay, because which is just supported actually right now as a lowest model. But if you have bandwidth, or you have the good GPU, and also you can just use whatever that that base model as well, like Queen 3 or whatever that supported. So yeah, that you make sure like model is there, and once you're done, now you can simply run it. So simply I can just run this application, and once you run, now see application is got running over here. And now this is the first section where there's a show that, and this is the configuration currently which configured over here. So currently I'm just configured Llama 3.2 along with this local hosted, and which are that skills available, and these are the tools also is available. And now you can just simply select over here project analyzer, So analyze, so simply we can ask that current, analyze that current directory files and all. So if it is that properly, so yeah, so see the properly response .cs and gs is available over here. If you want to next executor executor, so go to that y, and if you go there, so it is asking to choose another one. So you can just choose code explainer and just explain the code, and simply you can just hit enter and they will just properly response based on this here. Now see, it is just executed successfully. If it is failed, so it will show that fails. And yeah, so like that actually. Also they are nice tools over here, like bitch tools actually, they're just calling. Also it will just available over here. So if any cool tools is called, so it will ask. If it is not, then leave it. So yeah, I think this is pretty much good. And one last thing actually I just want to uh, show you, like for the configuration, right? So actually that I missed that. So if you go to this, app.settings, so here that all that skills we just defined as that over here. And if you want to use your configuration with your uh, Azure, so you can just change it to Azure endpoint, and also their API key along with your model name, right? And this is that MCP server which we have that, so we just configured over here. And yeah, that pretty much good. And one more thing actually, yeah, so here that last point. So in this MCP server also, if you want to utilize your GitHub MCP tools and all should work. So currently actually it's not working just because of I have not set a token and all. So yeah, you can get the token as a free, so you can just utilize. And then that one also should work, like for example this GitHub assistant, so because that is actually required. So yeah, that pretty much good. So thank you for this session. Have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.